What's going on, Hopecast? It's Braden, and today I have two very special guests. We have Hope and Sydne of STL Girl Network, who's doing a lot of amazing things, hosting events, building community, and showing a lot of love for the city. How are you two doing?
We're doing great. We're excited to be here.
We're excited to have both of you on.
First podcast. I know.
Breaking news, first podcast. Here we go. You two are doing a lot of amazing things in St. Louis. Let's talk about just that upbringing. Are you both from here, and what inspired you to start your group?
Well, I am originally from St. Louis Metro, but on the Illinois side, about 45 minutes away. Really small country town. I moved away after college, went to Nashville, lived in Chicago for a few years, came back and realized, I am in real estate now. Not only am I in a relationship-built industry, but also I don't know terribly too many people here. I really wanted to make connections on my own, specifically women friendships and connections. And I was like, what better way to just start something of my own? And it's going to self-serve me in the way that I'm going to make the connections that I would love to make. But also, I think it's really needed in the area for girls to meet and kind of hang out and make connections, because really St. Louis can be a tricky city, to meet people, especially as an adult. So it was just about a year ago. Group was started February of 23, and it was just a for fun Facebook group. We started on Facebook, and initially it was just a few of my friends getting together, and it just kind of naturally grew and grew. The numbers were growing of people just saying, "Oh, STL Girl Network, what is that about?" We didn't really have a mission statement. We weren't a business. It was just a group of girls
Community.
Getting together. Yeah, we would just randomly meet up for dinners and go to happy hour, and went to a Cardinals game just because we're like, hey, we're going to do this. Who wants to come? Anybody's welcome. And so it was about August 23 where Hope came to me and she's like, okay, look, you're kind of structured as a business. Let's make this a legitimate business. So I'll let you take it away on kind of how the start of the show came along.
So I am from St. Louis. I am born and raised in St. Louis. The question we always get is, where did you go to high school? So I'll let you guys guess based on what you think.
I like that.
Thank you.
We're trying to retire that question.
Stay curious.
Stay curious.
So essentially, Sydne's correct. This was an idea that was born from Sydne, and as it started to grow very organically and authentically, we are partners in real estate and mortgages already. So we were talking regularly, and I was attending some events and said, all right, let's legitimize this. This is already a business, and see what we can do. So we compiled our mission statement, compiled our core values, and then started building out from there.
Yeah. Because a lot of it too is we were already trying to host events, but on a small scale, like I mentioned, the happy hours and dinners and such, just casual. But we're like, well, we really could do more. It would be cool to do like a big supper club dinner type of event, or a big happy hour. And some of those things you have to do ticketed events to hold at certain spaces. So because we started to grow so much, that event venues were like, well, you have to have X amount of people to host here, or you have to give us an idea. So we're like, well, how are we going to kind of be able to work with businesses to kind of help us grow our network? So that's really a big reason why we legitimized it, just so we could kind of host more ladies at one time. So it's been really, really fun. It's been a really cool experience. People ask all the time, like, you started a year ago? We're like, it was a year ago. It was about a year ago. So it's been really exciting. It really snowballed into something we didn't really expect it was going to be. And now we're here. It was an accidental business that started, but I love it.
As Bob Ross says, it was a happy little accident.
It was a happy little accident.
How many people are in the community overall?
Right now, we're sitting right around 20,000 in our Facebook group. We have about 14,000 connections on Instagram, and I think we have a few thousand on TikTok. We're working on TikTok. We are millennials, so give us a break. But we're working on it, and it's been super, super fun. Even just creating the content, looking back on all of the events we're doing and recapping the things we're doing, like the night after or the next day, it's like, man, we're doing this. This is so cool. And it's just the most rewarding thing is so many women come up to us at our events or send us messages and are like, This group was huge for me. I just moved here a year ago. I didn't know anybody, and I have genuinely made so many friends from this. Or we've had ladies tell us that they've hired people from our group, or we have had girls find their roommates on the group, and it's just been really cool.
I think it was like back in October, and I was like, that's really cool. And like, cause I saw you all like hosting events, and I'm big on community. I think social media is a good resource, but it shouldn't be like, even though I create content for social media, I don't want people to just always just be on their phones. Like I believe in just that human interaction we didn't get for 2 or 3 years during COVID. Mm-hmm. And so like that very first event that you had, like how many people showed up, or was it just your friends? And then from there,
so a couple of my friends did come, but I think we had about 25 girls show up for that very first Narwhals happy hour. You were there.
Probably 35.
Was it? I don't. So you kind of get lost in the moment just because we were nervous. I was telling Hope I had you come with me because I was like, I don't really know what we're doing. Yeah. We're meeting all these new people, and people say all the time, I'm so nervous to show up. It's so intimidating to come alone. But heck, sometimes I get nervous because I see our guest list that are coming, and I'm like, I don't know more than half of these people. And sometimes we get a little nervous too, but then you show up, you get there, and you're so happy you did because everybody's so nice. Everybody's so welcoming. And that's been the theme of all of our events. Even from that very first one is I was nervous because I didn't really know a lot of these girls either and wasn't really sure what to expect. But going from 35 girls to the very first one, but now we have 100 plus sometimes at just a Tuesday night happy hour. So it's been really cool. As
like I've gotten older, I realize like it is harder to make friends. And so you all are providing an outlet of like just positive minded people, and it's just like, hey, I'm in here just to meet someone. Maybe we have a good time today, or maybe we become best friends in the future. And so like, I've noticed you all have multiple events throughout the week. Is there any like set schedule of like, hey, the first Tuesday of this month we're doing that, or every Tuesday we do this?
Yeah. So right now, really the only series that we have that's regulated is we do a monthly book club. And it's at the last Sunday of every month just because we need to give people time to read the book. We vote on the book, so on and so forth. But other than that, we try to have 4 to 5 events a month. We try to do one fitness related. We try to do one kind of mingling happy hour. And the rest are just sprinkled in random. We love to find really cool experiences. We're trying to just find really unique and cool things to do that women would like to do, but be a little nervous to show up by themselves, or they might not have people to do them with. So yeah, we have little segmented series like that, but mostly it's kind of just random because we're trying to find different things each month to do, but just a good amount of them, 4 to 5 a month, I would say.
And it's you two that are planning those events?
Yes, which is, definitely difficult because we do have our other full-time roles. Mm-hmm. So the capacity sometimes is thin. We've added on some extra teammates to help, which is going to be wonderful. But going back to your original question about the, events and how we kind of coordinate, again, we know no matter what, we're going to have that social book club. We're just starting our first business book club so we can focus more on the business aspect. But, our mission statement is to connect girls in St. Louis to foster friendships, collaborate, work with small businesses, and, make some friends along the way. And, our core values are empowerment, collaboration, inclusion, and supporting small businesses. And so that's why sometimes people don't exactly know what to expect because we are having some on the back end with small businesses. How can we help you grow? And then one of the biggest questions we ask those small businesses is, when is your slower day? When do you not have a ton of business so we don't take away from your mainstream line of businesses? And that's also why we have a lot of events during the week. So it's kind of, there's a lot of coordinating that happens and a lot of planning, and we hope to just get more and more efficient the longer we do this.
Yeah.
Now, why is this important?
Yeah, I really think, even the reason we started it for myself, I think it's so important to have genuine female relationships, female friendships, and people that can support you and no matter what you're doing, whether you're looking for someone just to kind of let loose and find some genuine stimulation, or if on the business side, you're, as a businesswoman, you do need to have genuine connections to kind of grow in that way too. So we do try to service any woman in the St. Louis area. We're trying to be very, very inclusive, which is why we do something called Self-Promo Saturday. Of course, our group is mainly focused on friendship, but of course, we're business women. We know so many women in business. We want to give them the opportunity, the space to promote themselves. So we kind of let it all be on one thread, because we don't want our page inundated with advertisements or for women to feel like they're getting sold on something. But we do want to give the space to do it. So if you're looking for that, too, though, right? It's the community of it. Exactly.
The women are in the community, and you're allowing them to just talk about what they do.
Right. So, but you know where to go when you're looking for stuff like that. So that's what we're finding very cool. But there's also a need to kind of grow the business side a little bit. So we are trying to host a business happy hour here or there, something that can be a little more fulfilling to the business women. Because, of course, network is in our name, but we are not strictly just
a networking group. It's almost like a misnomer, which we understand that people might confuse sometimes. Yeah. But Sydne and I think one of the reasons why we originally connected is we are both pretty self-assured, strong, empowered women. And like one of the models I've always adopted is help the next one in line. And I think we're doing a disservice to the women in St. Louis and around our community, mothers, daughters, friends, aunts, by not giving them the tools to feel empowered. And sometimes you can feel empowered by coming out to an event where you're normally so shy and it took forever to get you out there. Sometimes you feel empowered by being connected in business with some of the business women that we have. And sometimes you just feel empowered surrounding yourself by other equally strong women. And so, and also like adopting that mentality of collaborate, we can all grow together. I think that's a big reason why we've been successful is that collaboration is key. And there's always something we can learn from someone, even if they're in an outside industry. And our hope is that, we leave people better than we found them, and that they leave us better than, they found us. And with the feedback we've gotten since we've been doing this, it's very, very, very fulfilling to get that feedback that, we're helping people in one way or another.
Yeah. The whole point is connection. The whole point is collaboration. That's the whole point.
What goes into the skill of memorizing names? Because I need to work on that myself. I need to work on that myself. But it takes me because with social media, I have conversations, or I talk to probably 100 some people a day, and I see them in the social media setting. Then I see them in person. They obviously look different, and it takes me I don't know, a minute to register who that person is.
Yeah.
Here sitting down with you two, now that we've had this conversation, I'll always know. But if it was just through social. Yeah, unforgettable.
Unforgettable.
But it's what's the trick in that? Or is there a trick?
What mnemonic devices do we use? I'm so glad you asked.
I don't. This is not planned, guys. I'm just so impressed. This is so cool.
As someone who's terrible, I'm so glad you asked. So I feel like I'm very good with faces, and I know your energy, and I remember you. I can't tell you how many times I've walked up to a Michelle and said, "Hey, Marie, how's it going?" And so
it's the confidence.
It is, yeah. And they feel oh, I don't want to correct her.
Yeah.
But, they always say that whenever you meet someone, you shake their hand for the first time. Hey, I'm Hope. And they say their name. You say, hey, name. It's so nice to see you. I will literally look at Sydne. I'm like, don't let me forget. And sometimes I'll text it to myself. That's just life in general. But I think also giving yourself grace and knowing that it's not to snub anybody. It's not that you don't mean to remember because someone's not memorable. It's just that your brain only has the capacity to process so much information at one time. That's what I tell myself. Yeah.
No, that's
Sydne
real.
is usually the one who's like, she was so nice. Oh my goodness, I loved her. Hope you've met her 5 times. And I'm like, well, I really like her. I'll remember her name next time. But we've gotten a lot better. Well, I've gotten a lot better. She's always been great.
It's tough because we meet so many different people on a weekly basis. It's just face recognition. And I think a lot of it is us interacting on social media, especially on our Facebook group. We really jump in there and we're interacting with people's posts because I know you're not a woman, unfortunately. I'm so sorry. You can't see what we're doing on our Facebook group.
Bad FOMO right now.
I'm damn, I'm missing out.
But a big thing people started doing was introducing themselves. Introduction post. We've never asked anybody to do that. Naturally, women just started doing these introduction posts. It's almost kind of like...
And they gave it a name. Tell them the name.
Yeah, the STL Girl Network resume. And it's all of our group members just coming up with this stuff, and it's just so cool to watch. But what it reminds me of, and people have told us, it's like kind of like your Bumble BFF profile. Have you heard of Bumble BFF?
Is Bumble a dating site?
Bumble's a dating site.
BFF is a non-sexual one.
So I've been with my wife since before the dating app. So I'm like,
yes. So it is exactly that Bumble, but there's a BFF version. So you're on there to find friends. And it's really heavily utilized by women, maybe a little underutilized in St. Louis, which is why we even wanted to start something to connect women. But it's been compared to that. It's like an in-person Bumble BFF. So you're kind of putting yourself out there, kind of giving us a little glimpse of who you are with some pictures. And then it's so cool to see the amount of women commenting on the thread, just being like, oh my God, I have so much in common. Or
Sending you a message.
yes, and I sent you a friend request. And it's so cool to check it out and just sift through it and just see what's on there.
And they share, like they'll share their pictures, like thanks, that's your Girl Network. Like, and they've made friends. So we just feel like we are, like, this is our baby and we're the proud moms, because it is quite a demanding business, and a lot of people think we just run a page. It's like, no, that's one facet of a very, very complex component. And so you have to make sure that it's worthwhile, and that's one of the things where just the fulfillment from it, it's like, all right, we're gonna keep at it.
that's why you're doing it. Like you're like warms your heart. Like
it does. It is.
And we're pretty sentimental. We like to think we're for sure tough and strong. Like don't come at us in an alley. You won't survive. Sydne will take care of you.
I will.
She really will. But it's we've gotten some of the most heartwarming messages at our Valentine's Day event. We had this lovely woman come up to us, and it's for all ages because we want it to be inclusive. We want everyone to feel welcome. She wasn't what someone might think of like as a typical aged gal who would come out. She came out with presents for us, and I'm like, this is so nice, and I felt so terrible. I recognized her name and her face, but that was it. Just like, you guys got me to come out of my house. My mom had passed away. My husband's going through all of this stuff, and I'm like, don't cry. And I'm like, I'm so glad that like this is something that like we have the ability to help people and just have fun. If you're having a stressful day and you can burn off some steam, to help small businesses, it's multifaceted. And then I think what originally started as, that grew from it being organic and kept growing and growing was that, hey, we might be able to build a rapport, build the bond, and have the trust with everyone, where if they want to start looking for, a potential home or investment home, they'll think of us, to where it's kind of grown to like this. Like we're very not protective, but we
are.
I mean, it is kind of protective over the girls in our group. And for having 19,000 women in our Facebook page that's run constantly, I feel like we're really lucky with not ever having to jump in and be like, no, that's not okay.
Right.
Because we are so inclusive. And it's really cool too. And one day we had these posts, because we'll have teammates or we will approve post requests. And because we're inundated with quite a few requests for our Facebook page. And in one day we had someone asking about a Catholic church, a non-denominational church, a mosque, a temple, and then some type of pagan thing. And I'm like, all in one day. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to watch this to make sure everybody's respectful. Yeah. Didn't have to. Everyone contributed on something. And I'm like, that's really cool that everyone is well behaved in a group of thousands of women, which you might think you might have to monitor a little bit closer.
Yeah, and every once in a while, of course, it's not perfect. You're going to have some people who just don't get it. They don't get the spirit of the group. They don't understand that we are not going to tolerate the bad behavior. So every once in a while, you'll see some not so nice things come along, but we'll nip it in the bud pretty quick, just because it really is a safe space, and people look for that from us, because that's the whole point.
And we feel a very strong sense of honoring that.
Yeah.
And like the zero tolerance policy, like there's no hatefulness.
No bullying.
Absolutely not. This is inclusive for a reason. And if it bothers you so much, then this isn't the right group for you. See you later.
Yeah. But I think that's why people feel so comfortable to share on the group too, is just because we do protect it so much, and people feel that from us. So it's pretty cool.
Now, as a man, how can I like, I have a platform. What can I do to help you all, or the members, or like, what can I do?
Yeah. So it's funny you ask, because we've had several men message us on Instagram or message our page on Facebook and just say, hey, my girlfriend doesn't have Facebook, but she, for social media, she really wants to be involved here. How can I share this? Or can I, how can I get her involved, basically? So we have had that. But even just kind of sharing the stuff we're doing, we do co-ed stuff and collaborations every once in a while. So it's not that men are totally off limits by any means. But
No, it's not the what is it? The he-man woman?
He-man woman hater.
The reverse
Reversed.
of it. The she-woman man hater club. It's nothing like that. This isn't, of F the patriarchy or anything like that.
If someone's listening, they're like, maybe I need to tell my cousin or sister,
Right.
girlfriend, wife, like maybe that's the way.
If you're looking for a good group of girls, you're always looking for something different to do.
Want to meet some new friends. You just want to put yourself out there a little bit. You're looking for some fun events, some girl-focused events.
And it's just nice. And, we're not just like an event-focused business. That's something that's kind of transpired from it, to try and encourage people to get out. But even just having access to the resources that we share, like within our Facebook page, we have people asking for, does anyone know about, this salon that can get me in? Does anyone know about a counselor that specializes in X that we could be a part of? Does anyone have a recommendation for a handyman? It's really meant to be a really strong utilization of different tools, different ways to be resources. So you absolutely do not have to come out to any events. We'd love to see you, and that's how you build the rapport and build the friendships. But I think we have enough things going on where you can still feel like you're a part of it and still feel connected, even if you can't or aren't able to yet physically show up.
Absolutely. And I think it's a lot of that. We get a lot of girls that are planning to move here, but aren't here yet, but they'll join our group just to get a sense of what St. Louis has kind of going on. So I think that's a really cool aspect
and
too.
we love to
That's a
brag
big
on
deal.
St. Louis, as you are very aware of.
Yeah.
We have that in common.
And that's how we got each other all here today.
We love STL.
When I brought you guys on, I knew you were doing great things, but like, this is amazing. Like, Dante is not it. Like, this is
We're impressed with ourselves.
like, this is so cool.
But we
like-
always joke that if we did this as like our only job, our sole job, it would be on a whole other level.
Yeah, we'd be killing it. If this was our full time,
We'd be murdering it.
Yeah.
Right now, we're just like assaulting it.
If
But
or when.
Yeah.
when
Well, I don't know.
we're trying to put the right steps in place to be able to allow us to be more efficient and with the right people. And it's a slow, yes.
Yeah, but truly, real estate is our other baby, and we're both really passionate about that too. So I don't know if that we'd be stepping away from that anytime soon. I think
No, it would just be finding the right people to help.
to help. Yeah, I think it's a cool component that we can also bring, that we have so much knowledge in the real estate space, because everyone has to move. All women in St. Louis have to move at some point. So we like to be the voice of reason in that facet. Yeah, just to help.
Foodie Friday. So typically, I have a guest. I don't know if you guys want to do a shared one.
No, we're going to let her take it.
Okay, you're going to do it. So Foodie Friday,
A huge
3 or
fan.
4 of your favorite restaurants.
Yeah, it's so hard, because somebody who, moved full-time to St. Louis not super long ago, that's one of my favorite things to do right now, is just check out new places, new to me places. But I think my tops right now, if I had to pick, I love Idlewiff. I think that is just the coolest experience, and the fact that you can walk up to the art museum, everything. I think
The vibe
that's
is
so
immaculate.
cool. The vibes are immaculate. Love. I recently went to Salve Astoria for the first time in Tower Grove. Oh my God. You guys, it's amazing. So my brother and I actually went together, and we were like, wow, we have, this is a regular. So that was incredible. Sado in the Hill.
We're regulars.
I know. I live in the Hill, thankfully, so it's walking distance for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Let's cut out the days where it's not so busy and just get in there. We love it. And if I had to pick a fourth too, I think Jinzen in Clayton. Okay. It's so beautiful. It's a newer restaurant, but we recently got to go there with the Girl Network, and I was just so impressed. The owners are so nice, and it's just, they are trying to build a sense of community too. So I just love that place so much. So I think those are my tops.
3 people, if you could have join you
I bet every one of them.
Okay, so
You're
2.
not, because I've already experienced you.
You're planning the event.
I'm planning the event, yeah.
Yes, of course you'll be there. So let
could
me
be
ask you this:
anything.
how outlandish, far-fetched does it need to be within a realistic?
Oh, it could literally be someone that died like a million years ago. It could be the most famous
So a
person.
dinosaur.
To hear this.
Like Toys R Us dinosaur. It could. No, this
Rex.
is a no judgment zone.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if this had to be like make sense.
No.
Like okay, because
Life
it's not.
doesn't make sense.
So listen, am I allowed to grab this?
Yeah. And look at them. You could stare right at. Bam.
Do you want to know who I'd have dinner with? The 3 people? I can tell you right now, you're not one of them.
Oh.
Yet.
Yet.
Ever. Like, I'll forget how to edit out so much of this stuff. Okay, so I think about this more often than I should. Because, it first started whenever we were in elementary school. I feel like you should be part of the conversation. You look concerned. And so everyone was like, Jesus, and I feel like a part of me that you have to say that, but he knows what's in my heart. I'm not going to say Jesus in this scenario because I've already said that. As of today, my thoughts have changed. My thoughts have changed since I've been here. I try and be very contemplative in what I want and be very thoughtful. That's another word for contemplative. So, first one, and you got to follow along with me because I don't want to say the first one first because I'm afraid if this is cut at the wrong point, I am going to look very bad. So we'll go with the first one. Coretta Scott King. She's married to Martin Luther King Jr. She was an amazing human. The reason why I would love to sit with her, one, because she was married to MLK. Milk. She's married to him. But she was huge in the civil rights movement. So even in the civil rights movement, whenever her husband was going through, all of the things he was going through, she was like, hey, there's not a space for women. There's not a space for women. And so there's so much attention on him as there should be, but typically there's only room in a spotlight for one person. She was phenomenal. She also helped forge the path for LGBTQ rights. She's amazing. So I would want to sit with her to hear her story, but also to be like, hey, this already happened. You're dead. I'm telling you what's happened, to let her know of the impact that she's had. Like, I feel like that would be my reason to want to sit with her. So that's one. If anyone knows me, do you know who I'm going to say? She's my favorite.
Yes. Say RBG.
The notorious RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She was not the first Supreme Court justice. She was the second one. Sandra Day O'Connor was the first one. Someone's going to have to fact check me because I'm regurgitating this from high school. She's just a bad ass. I think she was the first Jewish woman. She was so influential, and I just think she embodies a lot of what we think for the Girl Network. Also, I have a really cool picture my twin made when she lived in New Orleans, just New Orleans-esque themed, of her in my office. So it doesn't match any of my other office decor. But I look up at her, I'm like, what's up, RBG? But that would be the second one. I like to think me. It would be me in the future, like 30 years in the future, or 40, if I live that long. I have a lot of health issues, and I'm also very clumsy. But say it happens, to be like, how did we turn out? Were we thoughtful? Were we helpful? Did we love well? Did you ever learn how to Dougie? Because I've been asking people to teach me for years. I'm sorry.
I still don't know. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, they tell you what to do in the song. Put your arms out in front, lead side to side, but I still got it wrong.
It's like the cha-cha.
Instructions.
What's the wedding song here? Down, down, do you down, do you.
That's a Cupid Shuffle.
Cupid Shuffle, yes.
Cupid Shuffle. No one does the Macarena anymore.
I do. You can do the Macarena to any song.
That's actually
My go-to is actually
To
any song. Any songs you got, or a sprinkler. So it would be me.
Now, words of wisdom, maybe it's people going through a tough time, someone that wants to do what you're doing, they look up to you. What would you like to share?
I think it's not even just about, people who want to do what we're doing, but I think it's a lot of something that I had to learn the hard way is just do whatever you want to do because people are going to have something to say about it. no matter what, no matter what you choose to do, someone's got something to say about it. Just do what makes you happy. It doesn't matter what other people think.
Are you still doing that social media thing? How many people have said that? Are you doing that social media thing?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, Grandpa, I know you don't. You still have a flip phone, okay?
Or my dad's like, oh, Sydney has some girl thing going on.
got
Sydney
some
some
little
girl.
Look
thing.
at your impact.
No, it's been really cool, but don't be afraid to come out and meet new people. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because it could be just so rewarding on the other side. And at the end of the day, I think it's really what people are nervous about, what others are going to think about them. And it just doesn't matter as much as you think it does.
Doesn't matter at all. That's such a good one, Sydney. Sydney Nicole, I just love her so much. I'm so proud of her. Okay, is it my turn? Can I answer?
Yes.
Because I have 10. I'm just kidding. But I'm going to say the first couple that pop in my head. First one that Sydney's probably heard me say like a million times. She probably can't stand. And I tell my team, I tell my friends, I tell myself, I tell pretty much anyone, don't tell me no, tell me how. Because me hearing the word no is completely unacceptable. It works for whether you're in a coaching capacity, whether you're in some type of leadership capacity, whether you're on the phone with customer service, it's just, that's not going to work for me. And just being very direct, but also diplomatic about it. Don't tell me no, tell me how. And I say this to my team a lot because it fine tunes and sharpens their problem solving skills. It allows you to be more resourceful. It allows you to be more tenacious, and it allows you to navigate the gray instead of looking at it as black and white. Don't tell me no, tell me how. And that's one of the best qualities I have, and I have a lot. That's one of the best ones, is that I am incredibly resourceful and tenacious. And that's because I've adopted that mentality of don't tell me no, tell me how. Like I don't consider it. The other one, I say a lot, because you hear people say, oh, no good deed goes unpunished. Oh my gosh, I did this and it got me nowhere. For me, kindness is never wasted. Like it's not wasted. Even if you're helping someone and you get zero recognition for it, doesn't matter. It's not wasted. If you do something for someone who doesn't do something kind for you back, it doesn't matter. It wasn't wasted. You cannot waste kindness on someone.
I love that.
I love it too.
And then to quote Wayne Gretzky, also Michael Scott again, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, which kind of aligns with what you're saying. Like, just do it. Just do it. We always make excuses. We think we have to have an outline. We think we have to have everything, especially women. Women typically think historically that we have to have everything outlined perfectly and check all of the boxes before we can get started. When the truth is, you need to just start and you will figure it all out along the way. If you're presented with an opportunity, even if you're not qualified, take it, because you'll figure it out along the way. And that is something, we try and empower the people around us. Like, that is a core value of mine that I have, productivity and empowering. And my hope is that, people get that from us, and that it helps bring that oomph, especially if they might be a little bit more timid, like realizing like, no, you are worth a lot more.
I'm going to cut that. Bam. That was so inspiring. Well, both of them was like inspiring, but I like that. Don't tell me no, tell me how.
I say with conviction. Like, I get my back is sweating. I feel it's so strong. I'm so sorry. Don't worry. You won't be able to tell through my.
Well, how can people follow you all?
Yep. So they can find us on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and anywhere else that you can. We show up on. We are at STL Girl Network. So come follow us. It's a party over here.
Yep. Sydney, Hope, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
We loved it.
Our first podcast. I'm so glad we connected.
I was looking at your elbow.
I was looking at your eyes like, don't be mad, don't be mad.
Wow.
I got nervous when I saw you both.
Okay, eyes closed. I did just learn how to twerk, so if we're looking for some more followers.
And then you have you want me to sync it? Sure. You guys have dance classes?
We do.
But that one was self-taught.